The pastor's unholy secret, a child born of fire and blood. The night the storm hit Willow Creek, the small Midwestern town felt like it was standing at the edge of the world. Tornado sirens wailed into the darkness, as thunder shattered the skies, and rain came down in sheets, flooding the dusty streets. Amid the chaos, a young woman staggered up the church steps, barefoot, her sundress clinging to her rain-soaked skin, blood streaking down her legs. Her belly, swollen with child, seemed to pull her to her knees. Inside, the great bell of the old wooden church, tolled by the force of the wind, its sound eerie and mournful, as if the heavens wept for what was to come. By morning, word had spread like wildfire, through the tight-knit community. "She's carrying the preacher's child, the one we all trusted. He broke his vows, defiled the Lord's house. That woman's a sinner, and that baby's a curse." Yet behind the church doors, behind the stained glass windows, that once bathed the pews in gentle light, the truth was far darker than anyone could imagine. The woman, Lily, had grown up in Willow Creek's foster system, a girl no one wanted. Pastor Jeremiah had been her only protector, offering her work at the church, food, shelter, and a sense of family she had never known. But when greed poisoned the hearts of powerful men in town, men who saw the church's land as prime real estate for shopping malls and casinos, they crafted a vile scheme. They spread rumors that Pastor Jeremiah had seduced Lily, that the holy man wasn't so holy after all. They figured that, if they could ruin his name, the congregation would abandon him, and the church would fall into their hands. But that wasn't enough. Late one night, they cornered him with shotguns and threats, demanding he sign over the deed to the church, or they'd burn it down, with his flock inside. Desperate to save his church and his people, Jeremiah and Lily made a pact. She would claim the child as his, a symbol of his supposed disgrace. What no one knew was that the child was the infant son of Jeremiah's murdered brother, hidden from those same men who had killed his family in a feud over land and inheritance. Lily, with a heart bigger than her own wounds, agreed to raise the boy as her own, protecting him from those who would seek his life. The town turned its back on Lily. At grocery stores, she was met with glares. At church, the very church she had once cleaned with her own hands, they locked the doors against her. Yet she bore it all, knowing the greater good they fought for. The night the baby came into the world, the storm returned. A tornado touched down near the edge of town, tearing roofs from homes, and splintering trees. As Lily screamed in labor, Jeremiah stood alone on the church's front lawn. And there, as lightning split the sky, he doused himself in kerosene, and struck a match, a living sacrifice to stop the men who came that night to destroy everything. Flames consumed him as the tornado veered, and tore through the estates of the very men who had plotted against him, sparing the church. In the years that followed, the boy, whom folks whispered about as the son born of fire and blood, grew into a man of quiet strength, his eyes carrying the weight of secrets he didn't yet understand. With his mother's guidance, he pieced together the truth, exposing the men who had tried to steal his father's legacy, and proving that Pastor Jeremiah had been a hero, not a sinner. And then came the final revelation. At Lily's funeral, the young man found a letter, yellowed and trembling in his hands. It was from Jeremiah. The letter revealed that the boy was indeed Jeremiah's own flesh and blood, the result of a single, desperate night of weakness and love, born not of sin, but of a father's deepest longing for family after a lifetime of loss. This is a tale of sacrifice, of lies spun to protect, and of love that burns so fiercely, it can light even the darkest night. A reminder that redemption often comes at the highest price, and that the bonds of family are forged not just in blood, but in the fires of the soul.